Wildcard ideas. So now is one. I think those who were planning to wildcard now are presumably quite happy because the projection for 29 has gone as planned.
Yeah.
But the projections obviously have moved for game week 34 and 37. I knew as soon as Wolves drew Coventry at home, it was going to be a long night for me because that alone was going to move so many things. And that's what's happened because the projection through makes the semi-finals has obviously changed. So now is an option. You can obviously plan and manage game week 28, 29, however you feel best. And that could even be the case of using a free hit in 29, maximising your Bournemouth Luton and then moving afterwards. Bournemouth, as we've said a few times recently, even though they don't play in 29 now, they'll be extremely attractive to those who free hit in 29 because the double 28 and the fixtures afterwards for them from game week 30 are really good, basically up till they play Manchester United in 34. And that might even be the beginning of landing for another double game week for Bournemouth. Game week 30 or 31 is obviously an option to get away from the shit in game week 29. I stress caution because of the announcements for game week 34. My idea would probably be game week 30, but with a provision to let that go for an extra week, possibly.
Just on that, though, I don't like that so much. I'll tell you what, because you're saying to get away from the shit of 29.
Yeah.
If you've worked towards 29.
Yep.
Well, Villa go into Wolves at home straight after. So they don't have too bad a fixture thereafter. And then it's City, but then it's Brentford at home.
Yeah.
I do like Forest. They play Luton, but then they've got Palace, Fulham, all right, Tottenham, but then Wolves, Everton. Like they're fairly okay until the end of the year. But you don't have a panic to come off Forest straight away. You don't have a panic to come off Spurs straight away because you go into Luton and West Ham, then Forest. So West Ham, right, Newcastle away, Tottenham at home's not great. And Luton go into Tottenham and Arsenal. But it's only West Ham and Luton. The others, if I ended up having to hold a week or two...
This is the point.
It's okay, isn't it?
If people are on... Here's an example. If people are on, say, Areola, don't have a backup goalkeeper, as an example... at all, you mean? Commit to, say, Bowen and Kudos, as an example. And have already committed to free Luton because of the two doubles. I think that's possible. You know, you'd have Morris, Doughty and Kaminsky or Barkley or a combination of that. Might be hoping Adebayo gets himself back fit, for example. If you've committed to that because you knew Luton would double in 25 and 28, and let's say you're also carrying shit like Charlie Taylor, who's got Chelsea away, suddenly you're looking at game week 30 and your game week 30, I think, looks quite bleak. So it depends which players you carry through into game week 29. So this goes back to the point.
This changes my strategy now. Like, am I? If you said to me you can buy a Luton player or a Forest player, I almost prefer buying a Forest player right now if I'm not going to wildcard out of it. Because, Luton have got the double. I'm not talking about this week because obviously Forest have got Liverpool. But I'm talking about next week or the week after. The Forest player I'm happy to hold and leave in there should I need to. The Luton player I'm going to want to probably get rid of. Which is why, like, look, Hwang's injured now, right? And you say, okay, what would I do? I could go to Bowen, or I could go to Elanga or something like that, and saves me money to go back to Villa. Salah. No, I've got 2 Villa at the moment.
Still prioritise Villa.
Yeah, Tottenham at home.
It's great for the attacking players.
Yeah, true. They've got a reasonable.
Luton just conceded 6.
Yeah, I can see that.
And a Tottenham player as well, right? So your Richarlison's if you can't afford your Sons.
But yeah,
I'm not going to do Richarlison versus Son again to death. We did that on Clash of Correspondence on Tuesday, and I don't think our opinions have changed from there. So it depends what you go to. Yes, I agree. Thing is, let's say you were buying between a Luton or Forest player in 28, you're going to buy the Luton player. Right, because of the double there as well, right? You're not going to be worrying so much about 30. You're going to go, right, double game week plus Nottingham Forest at home 29. If you get to 29 and make your choice, then I think you're leaning towards your Awoniyi, Elanga, Gibbs White, Matt Sells in goal, whatever it is that picks your fancy, because then Forest have Palace at home in game week 30, whereas Luton go to Tottenham. It's the difference, obviously. So I think for those heading that way and looking to wildcard 30, just keep 30 fixtures in your mind with the idea of moving it to 31. You can, of course, aim for wildcarding in 31. You could just do it that way now and go, well, I'm not bothered what happens. Yep. I'm going to wait till game week 31 anyway, and that might be a sensible solution in any case. I think for those of us who end up with treble Tottenham, treble Villa, and also looking at Manchester City, Arsenal playing each other in game week 30, might think, yeah, I can hold on here till 31. Other options to wildcard. Game week 34, I think, might be viable for those who've decided they want a free hit in 37. So take someone like me who's used that bench boost. I'm going to look at this. I don't think it'll be for me, by the way, because I think I want to get away from 29. But it might be something that I look at. Oh, can I carry on further here, 32, 33? My biggest drawback of that would be I've got a rush to get like Liverpool in, certainly in game week 31, for example. And then if I'm moving my, I don't know, let's say example of West Ham players, just hypothetically, I want to get rid of them, getting from Bowens to Salahs and stuff like that. It's obviously not easy, right? But 34 might be a possibility. 35 or 36 to wildcards, obviously get away from 34 in prep for 37. But remember those two Manchester United and Newcastle fixtures in 35, if that projection ends up being correct. And also, you could obviously go 37 or 38, which I'd like to call it the fuck it, just have 2 free hits at the end strategy, where 37, you free hit or wild card, and game week 38, you free hit or wild card. And you'll be doing that because you've manipulated the fixtures with such Einstein brilliance that's how you've landed at the end. I don't think that's improbable that people get to certain situations, say like planning for 34, and think, I want to free hit 34, and then get there and I don't want to do it. Is that a possibility? And then you end up going, well, actually, the option at the end, because of those flip of some of those fixtures between 37 and 38, smash into 2 free hits at the end. Frankly, that's wasting a wild card, but it's also doing something very different. Play it your way.
I've done it once before, and it worked out perfectly fine.
I think that was in the COVID season, wasn't it, when we paused and we all got the unlimited. And I think people were planning to wildcard around then, and then had the unlimited. It was like, well, yeah, I can just attack this at the end, so it worked nicely. That probably shouldn't be the circumstance here.